Ways that I think you guys could support is when we start to reopen, we hope to be back in school in the fall. We're not sure about that. We do believe school will be shut down in the spring. But giving to food banks in the area and giving to that backpack program will be helpful, because we'll use all that money now that we normally have kind of built up in those programs. I would say supporting and speaking to the General Assembly about waiving everything we've requested, waiving the testing, waiving the requirements for students. They're dealing with so much trauma right now. They really don't need additional things on top of them for accountability. We can do that at the end of next year, 2021. But if you speak to your General Assembly, I worked really closely with Deanna Ballard. She's doing some really great proposals, but they need to be adopted. People don't need to just put everything back on the kids as they slowly start to come back in the fall. We really need to do social emotional support for the children, make sure their families get back to work, give them what they need, and those kinds of things. So yeah, I thought the public library probably had Wi-Fi, so that's a good place to go. There's a lot of little spots that are mapped out by Surrey Telephone throughout the county. They've been really good on that. Spectrum has provided free hookup for 60 days, things of that nature. So we're really excited about that. I was on a national call with some friends of mine, the Commissioner of Education in New York, and a couple of other folks across the nation that are working on all this. And they say this is the time to reinvent education. There's been 25% of our population across the United States that never did well in traditional public school. Like they just never engaged with it. They would prefer to be doing internships, working out in the field, learning some of their classes virtually, having more flexibility. You know, I had one of our best teachers who was the top scores in math last year in the entire state. And he told me, he said, I was planning out every single day for the students. He said, now I give them 5 days. And I say, okay, in this 5 days, I need you to do these mathematical concepts. We're going to check in, you're going to work on it. And then by Friday, I need it. He said, they're just flourishing in that. They feel like they've got choice. They can do their work at their own pace. Some of these kids are babysitting their siblings because their parents are at work. So they need to do it at night. I just really think we need to begin to trust our kids with what education will help them most and how they can go ahead and go to work and support their family and get these courses in. I have a senior at home, so that's the last thing I'll do before I take questions, but it breaks our heart. You know, Caleb's sport is tennis. So when do they play tennis, right? So he's first seed. He won the conference last year. This is his chance to play college tennis. He's not playing. Right? So it just kills you. And then you think about the baseball player. You think about, the other player in football if we don't get back in the fall to where we can have sports. I mean, it's just killer. You can't have your band concerts. You can't have your concerts. You can't have graduation. So we are really looking at trying to do things virtually for them. If we postpone till July and have a face-to-face graduation, that would be great. But I just don't see us having big crowds for multiple months. So, can we park at Veterans Park and let the kids come up and get their diploma and then get back in their car with their families and keep the social distancing? I mean, we are really trying to, it hits home when it's your kid, but that's your kid times 125 other families that are dealing with it. I do believe boys are a little bit more resilient. The girls are really, they're really going through a lot. You can ask Catrina. There's horror stories. The boys just said, okay, I can't play tennis, so I'm gonna go work at Food Line. That's what Caleb did. But I would really like for them to be able to have a graduation. I know they want to have prom, but it might be a comeback in the fall prom. Colleges are really looking at not going back until Christmas. So their first semester would be virtual in college. I mean, you remember your first semester in college and how excited you were to get away from home? They're gonna be at home. So the mamas are happy about that, kids not so much. I'm gonna look at a few of the questions you hear have here. Graduation, I think I addressed that a little bit. And NC Works is still working and looking to help folks get back to work and or go to school. So that's a good connection for you. Thank you, Don, for the kudos there. Yeah, so that's a great point. So we started working with homeschoolers in 2016, and we started providing homeschool platforms. We have kids who come in for our Chinese class or our Richard Childress racing class or band, marching band, but they do the rest of their stuff at home. So we already have a platform to work with homeschool students. We have already said to our leadership team, we will not have snow days next year. We will not have COVID-19 days next year. We'll just have virtual learning. So what I want to decide now is it more, should I get more iPads? Because we have a little bit more funding that they're sending out as this emergency. Because the iPad with a little keyboard that goes with the iPad is actually easier for them just to stick in their backpack and take home for a snow day. So we're really now just looking at, since our staff's been using the online platform, it's really which device is going to be best for our kids. Which one is going to have the least amount of wear and tear when you send it home. But I absolutely do not think that we will have to have a snow day or a makeup day if we can get the devices handed out before they go home, you know, that kind of thing. Because sometimes there's early dismissal and you're out for snow. We just want to make sure that they can get their devices. The General Assembly has a website. I don't have that link right now, Bob, but I'm sure Randy can get it to you.
Yeah.
Phil Berger, Deanna Ballard, who's the guy out of Wilkesboro. There's 3 of them that are kind of over that educational piece. Deanna Ballard, Corn, I think his last name's Corn. No, Horn, Craig Horn. Craig Horn, Phil would be really good ones to reach out to because they're on the education committee. Phil Berger will probably be the one that makes the call, especially on Read to Achieve. 3rd grade students do not need to deal with Read to Achieve this year. I mean, they haven't even been there half the year. They should be promoted to 4th grade. We'll figure it out in 4th grade. We can do pre and post tests to see how they're doing. They've already told seniors if they were passing on March 15th, they are passing. So we have 4 students that were missing some courses that we're trying to get their courses so they can graduate.
My question is the food that you're getting, I know you're getting some from the state. I'm guessing you're getting donations as well. Do you want those donations directly to you, or are you going through the food banks to get those in the school system?
So we have our own fund that we do, and we had already built capacity in partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank. So, but we also have like Haymore Baptist, who's just going to bring individually wrapped items for children. So we can do either. You can do money to directly here to the central office, and then we don't have to sterilize the food right now. So that's the biggest thing. If we can get money into that account, we can just keep going to Galaxy. They directly ship the food to us, and we just have to pack it with a few volunteers. But if you have an organization that really just can only bring a couple cans of food, that's fine. Just do that. My understanding is we can put it in our storage here at the community central office, and after 24 hours, it no longer has the virus on it if it had it on there when it came in. It's just about whoever touches it last, right? So our volunteers are temperature checked, that we wear the sterile gloves and the masks so we can pack it and get it back out. I just know we will start to run out of food for the community. So anything you can do that will help us through the summer, because these jobs are not going to come back quickly. We're going to try to do a little bit of that during our summer feeding program, and then in the fall. We've heard that COVID may hit in the fall for a brief amount of time, and we may have to be shut down for 2 or 3 weeks in the fall or winter months before the vaccine comes out. So we are preparing now just in case and trying to stockpile a little bit to help them through the worst of times.
Okay, and with Catrina, she can reach out to us as well, but we'll donate some face shields to you all as well.
Oh, that would be very helpful.
I'm sure
Thank
Catrina
you.
will be reaching out to me. So
Great.
Yes, we got you. And thanks for, I just want to say too that John has been doing an amazing job highlighting businesses within our community, doing videos, and I've reached out to him as well as maybe helping us with some videos to highlight businesses so our students can can learn about what's happening. This is a definite point in history that we can learn from, but
Right.
also how resilient our community is. So I'm really proud of that.
Amazing. You guys are doing a great
And
job.
shout out to Chris. I know Chris Lumsden's on there. Your folks have just been dynamic and just helping with everything. Hearing the updates from the health department and how they're praising Surrey County for everything that they're doing. We would be in a lot worse shape, Chris, if it wasn't for your staff. So I just, big thank you. And I know you're busier than I am, and I'm busy.
We can hear you, Chris. Go ahead.
Thank you, Kim. We appreciate it. All of us are under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, and I see the community coming together, and we'll get through this storm. We'll get through it well, and hopefully we can resume normal as we define normal operations sooner than later. So thank you, Randy, and thank you, Kim.